Well, here we all are. Good morning, everybody. Well, actually, it's good afternoon, isn't it? It's 12 o'clock. We'll be here for 1 hour to chat to you all about social selling, networking, AI, and ChatGPT. So I'm very lucky to have these wonderful gentlemen here with me today. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you.
Wonderful. Good to see you all here. And for anyone who will be watching or is going to be joining us today, please feel free to tell us where you're watching from. And what we're going to do today is to go through a few questions to cover everything that's going to help not only job seekers, but also people who want to brand their own businesses too. So I'm really glad that we're all here with some very good professionals who know all about social selling, networking, and AI and ChatGPT. So what I want to make sure that you know is that you can feel free to ask your questions in the comments. And what we'll do is, to ensure that we keep to time, we'll keep your comments and questions till the end before we answer. So feel free to pop them in any time, and then we'll answer, and I'll keep reminding as people join this feed as well. And so what I'd like to do is to introduce each of our speakers so that you know why and who are actually here. So why don't we kick it off with Gunnar, because you're the social selling expert.
Hi, Jane. Hi, everyone. Welcome.
And so tell us a little bit about yourself, Gunnar.
I will happily do this. Hi, everyone. So my name is Gunnar. That's Swedish. I came from Switzerland, live in Australia, and I work in the IT industry, especially I work in the IT channel. So I'm basically working with the partners who bring solutions out of various vendors together to solve customer problems. And that also adds me into the passion that I have when it comes to social selling, because I've been using social selling at least for the last 8 years as a way how I can connect the dots together. Everyone, of course, has a different type of definition of what social selling actually is. And mine is about that social selling is a clever approach of using social media and digital tools to advance the business agenda. Whatever that is, it is different for a job seeker, for not-for-profit, or for the educational institution, or even for anyone in sales. And that's what I wrote about in my book.
Ah, fantastic. Well, I'm very glad you're here. We're going to be asking you some social selling questions soon. And so next, how about Sam? You're all about confidence when it comes to networking. And so let's tell us a little bit about you.
Thanks, Jane, for the introduction and organizing this. So my name is Sam Lee. My background, I'm from Hong Kong, and migrated here to Australia very little. And just a little bit about myself. So I'm a social skills coach. I coach people on social skills so they can be more confident around people, grow their network, and also be able to have the skill to build instant rapport with people. So building a network is very important because the more connections you have, the more opportunities you have. So in today's session, I'll be giving you some insights on how to network like a pro, and really know the reason why you're networking and grow your network. And I'm also a two-time published author of The Social Way and Connect with Confidence, both books in Amazon stores. And I'm also a speaker, and I do a lot of corporate training on helping people to corporate companies to basically have a better culture, how to have better communication skills so they can get along with each other better. And that's a little bit about myself. Thanks, Jane.
Yeah, having social skills is so important, because whether you're looking for a job or you want to build your business, networking is very important. And so now Dick is a specialist in presentation skills and communication too. So let's have a brief intro from you too, Dick.
Thanks, Jane. I guess I'm a rebel professional. I've changed roles over the years, been entrepreneur, but one thing that I was very good at least in my mind originally, was communicating and talking my way into things. But obviously the mind and then reality is different. So what I got very good at over time was presenting, talking, and communicating, and ran and I think Gunnar attended one of my sessions. I ran training group for presenting and speaking for a few years there, and did my own seminars. I think I've done a couple of hundred now, and I think I've got a book somewhere actually. So everyone's got a book somewhere too. So just so you know.
Actually, that's very good, Sam. I think we should all wave our books around if we've got one.
My virtual background.
I'm going to bring mine. You got to bring my book.
It's time for you to write a book, Con. I know some very good author mentors who can help you. Okay, well, thank you for that. Now, Con, you well,
I feel so naked. I feel so naked. I haven't got a book. What I put up,
You're
I'm
not
not.
naked.
I just put up this. That's a social selling warrior. Thank you, Jane. Hello, everyone. Wherever you're watching this, thank you very much for this, Jane. It's magnificent. Great to be here with some esteemed fellow colleagues. My name is Conso Tertis. I don't look it, but I'm an accountant by way back profession. Don't hold that against me. And then with the help of people like Jane, I morphed my career into a BDM / entrepreneur / business development manager along the way, and moved into the social selling part with more focus on LinkedIn, using LinkedIn as a way to build your profile and create further opportunities for yourself. Then more recently moved into AI and ChatGPT and doing a few sessions with ChatGPT. Our philosophy at Social Selling Warrior is a bit like the Stephen Covey's, is it Covey or the fish philosophy, which is you'll see a lot of people trying to sell you prompts and try to sell you prompts in relation to AI. Our philosophy is we will teach you how to use the technology, not sell you a prompt. So we don't feed you for the day, as with a fish. We feed you for life by teaching you how to use the technology and the platform to get the best out of it for your needs. So that's me. That's Con, and I haven't got a book, but we do have some virtual events coming up, which we'll talk about later on. Thanks, Jane.
Yes, we've got some freebies for you as well at the end. So if you're keen to find out what they are, do pop yes, please in the comments, and we'll make sure that we give you the link just in case you miss the links when we give it to you at the end of this conversation. Now, I want to kick off with some questions. I'm going to ask each of these talented gentlemen a question in their area of expertise. And as you all know, I'm a career coach, so I'll just do a quick, brief intro. I'm obviously Jane Jackson. I'm a career management coach and I specialize in career transition. I'm the author of Navigating Career Crossroads and the host of Your Career Podcast. So do go and subscribe to Your Career Podcast if you want to listen to some very interesting interviews. And you'll find Dick there and Gunnar and Sam as well, in-depth interviews about their career change. And Con, it's time for me to interview you too. Okay, so I see Andrew has already put yes, please. So we will make sure that we send you a message with all the links to the freebies that we have for you. Okay, now my first question is directed, first of all, to Gunnar. And you do social selling so well. Many people don't even understand what social selling actually is. And you've written a book all about social selling. It's called Connect and Act, as you've mentioned. So can you explain how people can add social selling in their careers or to benefit their businesses?
Yeah, happy to do, Jane. Let me take it back into when I came to Australia and I realized that LinkedIn has a higher, let's say, higher usage compared to my past in German-speaking countries. When I met in the first days, I met also Dick Lamb, who showed me and said, forget about your CV from Switzerland, Australia is completely different. So then I recognized the way of building network is so critical, especially for those in job search, not necessarily to connect and say, hey, I need a work or something like this, I need a visa, but rather, how can I listen to the problems of the marketplace where I'm at, how I can bring this all together, and how I can share content in the area where my future work would be. So that's what I've been doing all the time, and even then wrote about how this would work for job seekers, how social selling would work also for those in small businesses who are not necessarily bombarded with a marketing team who has all these fancy messages ready to post that nobody engages with. And that's how I came into my own definition also about social selling, to take it as a way to build this know, like, and trust factor, to stand out compared to those who just apply for a job, and also to utilize the content in order to talk about the problems in the industry we are in.
Okay, so well, that was really interesting. I think social selling is so important because it's it's not really sales. It's letting people get to know you so you can actually attract. It's like attraction marketing. Yeah. Okay, so social selling. If anyone's got any questions about it, please feel free to pop it in the comments, as I've got in my little banner here. And now, when it comes to social selling, does anyone else have anything to add to that? Dick or Con or Sam?
Yeah, I think just wanted to add there, Jane, what you said there was correct. We don't sell on social. And sadly, social selling is a term that Gunn and I are sort of forced to use because it's something that LinkedIn came up with when they were trying to push the Sales Navigator platform. So it's a term that we've reluctantly adopted, and you can see it's in my banner. But we are very clear, both Gunn and I, that we don't sell on social. It's more about connecting, interacting, and creating a powerful brand.
So when we take the word selling into the very old 100 years old definition as that is a way how to help, then it makes more sense. And a sale can be rather towards the end if I help someone and I get a kind of a reward, whatever that is. I'm happy if I can help someone else on the platform. It doesn't have to be I sell a product, but at least I can bring people together. So I'm personally living by the old Nokia slogan, connecting people, and that's what social selling is about.
Yeah, I like that slogan, connect with people. And you know what? This also it's all about networking, isn't it? And LinkedIn is a powerful professional networking platform. Dick, you had something to add to that?
Yeah, look, I think I remember. I think it was Malcolm Gladwell. He sort of wrote a bit of a book. Can't remember exactly which one, but he didn't mention what it is when you make friends and network with people. It's not necessarily that person that gives you the job. If you're looking for a job, it's actually what they call loose ties. So when you contact that person, they might know another person. And then by that referral, that person doesn't know you, but they sort of somewhat obligated to talk to you. So what they find is a lot of these jobs actually come from what they call loose ties rather than the direct person that you meet. So I guess social selling in that way sort of makes a lot of sense because people are sort of afraid, well, this person will never give me a job. He's not in a position to. It's not necessarily about that. It's actually just building a network, but then there's a network beyond the network that you're going to connect to at some point.
Yeah, I think it's like the sphere of influence, where you might not know a particular individual, but they know so many others. And if you can start to go one step at a time, closer and closer to that direct target audience, especially as a job seeker, then that's really helpful, isn't it? I want to focus on networking, and networking, something that Sam, you're very up on, and you've spent many years developing the networking skills and helping others and training them too for networking. But you know what? Many people are reluctant to network because they think it's a bit, for want of a better word, icky, and it's like asking for favors. But networking is not asking for favors, is it? It's really asking for recommendations, advice, and guidance. And so your book, there's my phone going, live broadcast, what can you say? Your book, Connect with Confidence, covers networking. And what would you say are the most important factors when you're networking with purpose, Sam?
Cool. Thanks, Jane, again for the great insight. And yeah, basically, I believe that your network equals your network. So the more connections you have, the more profitability you will become. So I'm going to share 3 points today. So basically, you need to know the reason why you are networking. So it could be for your business, if you want to look for additional clients or collaborations or exposure for your business. And for job seekers as well, you can if you go networking, you can find a job that someone could refer you out of the blue. Maybe like they're working in a company and then they're looking for people to join. So, or the third purpose is you could just you want to grow your network for social purposes. And the most important thing is to connect with the right people for your purpose. So what I mean by that is to not waste time if you don't see some synergy with the person you're networking with. And number two is basically memorize your elevator pitch, especially on networking events, so you can tell the person what you do in 60 seconds or less. So because people have a short attention span, and especially in networking events, so you need to be very fast as well. And the next one I want to talk about is you need to know how to build instant rapport, instant trust. So earlier you mentioned about social setting. It's all really about building trust first, building that rapport. So the selling can be an easier part. So I've been in the sales industry over 10 years, and you really need to know how to sell yourself, be able to be a sociable, so the other person can like you, and yeah, they'll buy from you if they like you. And in order to if like you need to know how to build instant rapport, so the person you're networking with trust you, and then they can you can get their contacts and build deeper relationships with them. And in order to build instant rapport with the people you meet, you need to have good social skills, social networking skills. What I mean by that is you need to work on your first impression, the way you present yourself, the way you dress, etc. Everything matters. Have open body language, have a good conversation skills, have a good sense of humor. That goes a long way, and also have the right attitude and mindset, and set yourself boundaries when needed, and you know the drill. And yeah, most importantly, like for business purposes, you can give out your business cards, grab the contact, add them on social media, on LinkedIn or Facebook, etc., whatever you're active on, and that's how you can grow your network as well. And towards the end, if you guys are interested, I'm giving a free social networking skills assessment session for free. So if you want to know more about that, contact me towards the end. And that's my part. Thank you, Jane.
I think that's so valuable to learn how to network really effectively, because honestly, people do feel a little bit shy when it comes to approaching other people. So at the end of this live session, we've got some links where you can actually book a free consult with Sam, and also Dick, Con, and Gunnar, and also myself. We've got some fantastic freebies for you. So if you want them, type in yes please in the comments. We'll make sure we DM you the links as well, but we'll be providing the links at the end. Now, Dick, this is interesting. Presentation and communication skills are key, moving on from networking, and it's a key component for career success, yes? And obviously for the job search process, but a lot of people are not aware of how they are perceived in the workplace or perceived by others, and how their presentation does affect the way that someone thinks about your professionalism or not. So what do you think? You're the founder of the group called Professional Development and Speaking. And so what would you recommend that people do to improve their presentation and their communication skills for their career or for their business?
Look, it's an interesting question. I think people need to have a purpose for it. So, I mean, when I train speakers, what I found is there's two types. There's ones who are sort of natural communicators or feel like they're pretty good at the start. But what happens is they don't really improve. And then there's the guy who really wants to be good at it, but partly because he wants so badly, they're actually quite bad at the start. But what you find is a little bit of training actually improves them quite a lot. So in a way, it's good to be sort of social and very good with people. I remember there's a certain coach some years ago now. He coached professional, and he basically delivered this line. He said, if you're something like an engineer, and what he knows is at a certain point you'll hit a ceiling. At the time, it was about 100,000. It's probably like closer to 150,000 in salary these days. But that ceiling can only be breached if you learn public speaking skills. That was his perspective. So there's sort of almost two levels. There's sort of social, and I can chat to people and friendly, and everyone likes me. And then there's that sort of slightly higher level where you are thinking about what the other person is thinking when you're talking. And if you ask me what's the key to public speaking is actually, or communication at a high level, is actually thinking two steps ahead about how something will be received more than, do I feel comfortable? What am I going to say? How is this message going to get across? Because once you get into those areas, number one, you're going to speak in the groups, but number two is you're going to get into situations where some people say political, and I personally never got into that political situation, but mainly because I know how something's going to come across, and therefore think 2 steps ahead and modify that. I mean, just a very quick story is I know I had a friend of mine who had a business for many years, didn't have a degree, sold his business, and then wanted to get in the corporate world, and didn't have a degree. So he was a bit of an IT geek, but he found he was very interested in something like called Agile Project Management. And he just turned up to groups and meetup groups to listen and ask questions. And how he sort of succeeded actually was, because he applied it for jobs and he couldn't succeed because he didn't have a degree. But what he did was he started his own group and instead of speaking about it himself, he started getting guest speakers. And that combination of networking, being brave enough to get on stage and host things, all this sort of stuff. And now he's very successful. He's in the UK, I think, earning lots and lots of money, being a agile coach for large financial institutions. So is this one of those skills, communication, presentation, that it's not necessarily exactly in the job description all the time, but it can take you places where you just don't, you can open doors with it. Basically, you don't imagine you need right now, but without it, you can't open those doors. And technical skills, probably 60-70% of the people who apply for a role have them. Very few people have that extra level of communication and presentation skill. Sorry, Jane, I'm not sure I took too much time.
No, I could listen to you all day, Dick Lamb, and you're always so well turned out as well. I have to tell you, Dick's live presentations and meetups are always a lot of fun, and I was very honored once to be invited to speak at your events, and they're so much fun. They're great, and you talk about so many different topics as well. But the good thing is that because you like to present, you pull in all these other people who can also present and inspire others. So I think the whole power of community is so good. There's social selling, there's selling on LinkedIn or Instagram or Twitter, or what about Threads that's taking off? Okay. And I joined the Threads simply because, I thought, okay, this is new, let's find out. And it's through Instagram, and it's a little bit like Twitter. So I think Twitter's slowly dying and Threads is now popping up. And as of this morning, it had over 30 million members. When I joined last night, I was 19,400,000 and something or other. Gunnar beat me. You're about 10 million.
Below.
The 10 millionth member. Quite interesting. But it's interesting how it's all just taking off now. And it shows that people are really hungry for a different way to connect as well. But how you present yourself on Threads, you need to be careful. When you present yourself in person for a job, everything that Dick has just mentioned is so important too. I want to get on to another hot topic, speaking of hot topics, is AI and ChatGPT. And so many people are fearful of it. Some people are embracing it. I think it's a very useful tool as an addition. I tend to really believe in the power of human connection more than anything else, and original creative thought. But a lot of people are using ChatGPT and AI to their benefit as a job seeker and in their businesses. So, Con, you are very up to speed with this. So I want to ask you, as a social selling warrior, you've embraced ChatGPT and AI, yes? How do you think job seekers can actually use these advancements to help in their job search?
Great question, Jane, and thanks for the opportunity. First of all, let's put this in perspective. You're right. AI and ChatGPT are tools. They're there to help us and support us. And someone I heard the other day say it's cheating. Well, it's not. It's about using it to your advantage and using it the way it'll give you an opportunity. Now, I just saw a recent study with Deloitte that 91% of companies plan to increase their CPU capacity just to embrace AI. And, they're talking about doing that in the next 12 months. So people will not be displaced from jobs. it's the people that don't come to grips with AI and ChatGPT that will be displaced from jobs. There'll be new jobs created. There'll be new opportunities created with AI. In fact, one of the most advertised job at the moment, and the one that's getting a lot of hits, is what we call prompt engineers. That is people who are able to use the AI platforms in order to generate output that is desired by the organizations. And we've got a myriad of opportunities. But we're here to focus about job searching. So let's talk about job searching. There's a couple of things we can do in this space. There's things like we can get the AI to help us build an effective resume. So you can use third-party tools like visualcv.com, and that can help you build your resume. So basically what I did this morning, took me 2.5 minutes. I uploaded my LinkedIn profile as a PDF, and it created a resume for me in about 2 minutes flat, not maybe even less. And all I'll do is go through there and just edit and adjust that. You can use it to write your cover letters. So then what you do there is you copy and paste parts of your resume into the ChatGPT. You provide it a link to the job you're looking to apply, and then you say to it, please write me a cover letter based on my resume and the job application, and it helps you overcome that initial, I suppose, blockage we may have in relation to trying to craft a cover letter that's suitable and appropriate. There will always be a need for that human interaction, Jane. There will always be a need for people like yourself and others around career coaching and support. But we can utilize these tools in order to give a bit of a head start. Lastly, it can also help you with interview questions. So when you go into an interview, you can actually talk to the platform and say to it that I'm looking to go for this job. I've had an opportunity to go to an interview. This is, again, the job description. This is my resume. This is the experience I've got. Please support me by asking me some questions that might potentially be asked at the interview. And then you can start going away and crafting your responses. So we've got a number of ways we can use it for job searching. Resume, cover letters, and helping you in your interview process. Hope that helps someone out there.
I think it's definitely going to help. And you know what? We've got about 47, 48 people who are on the call at the moment. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the chat, because we'll be happy to answer anything about social selling, networking, presentation skills, communication, or ChatGPT and AI. And I want to add that LinkedIn has really embraced AI, and for a long time they have this feature that many job seekers don't know about. If you want to practice your interview techniques, this is AI assisted, but it's fantastic. It's if you go to your profile and you have a look at the tab at the top that says jobs, you can click on that, and then over on the left there's you just have a look at the list there, and it says interview prep. This is a LinkedIn native tool. It's a feature that's so good. You click on interview prep, and within LinkedIn, you can actually record yourself answering an interview question. They've got lots of different sample questions for all different industries and job functions. I mean, one of them I use very often as a example for my career coaching clients is I just go to the first one, which is tell me about yourself, which is the question that tends to worry people the most because they don't like talking about themselves, right? But you can just click on that, and then you can answer the question, record it on LinkedIn, and then you can review it. It gets analyzed by AI to tell you how fast you're speaking, the tone of voice, if you used any filler words, if you used any profanity or any inappropriate words at all as well. And it gives you recommendations on how to improve. It's such a good tool. It's been around for a long, long time, even before the whole AI buzz. So LinkedIn's been really up to speed with it. And the good thing about recording your own answers on LinkedIn is that whoever you're connected to, if you respect them and you want their opinion, you can just click send to a connection and say, hey, I've just practiced this question. What do you think? Do I sound okay? And you can get their opinion, or you can send it to your career coach. There you go. I like to do that as well as a career coach, but it's a really good example. So now we're going to pop your questions in the chat. We'll answer at the end. And now, does anyone else on this panel want to add anything about social selling, networking, AI, or presentation and communication? Gunnar does. Yes, Gunnar.
Yes. So First of all, thank you, Jane, for putting all of us here together, because there's so many elements that job seekers need that comes from the right networking skills and presentation skills. And for me, what's all about, I think Dick talked about it, is to give others a stage that's better than just talk about ourselves, that we are the best for a certain role. So therefore, when we utilize social selling skills in a way of a job search to talk about things, to write about concerns and challenges in the industry, how we would solve this, that of course finds quite an open space for this. So then I've been lucky in that sense. A couple of years ago, when I created my own social selling meetup group here in Sydney, and I talked about the topic more and more, that one of the software companies in that space, namely Hootsuite, also found that, and was actually quite positive that they saw certain experience that I've had, which I developed just by my own interest. And that can happen for all of us. If I'm, Con, when you mentioned someone is interested to be a prompt engineer and to get this experience in AI for certain roles, these people need to basically show up that they have that. And that is a way how to stand out. But we should not forget one thing. At the end, most of us are humans and want to work with humans together. So the ways on, let's say, our values that we have, integrity, ethics, that is important as well, instead of only try to fake it with shortcuts and being lazy in using AI. So we need to find the right balance of showing expertise, showing what's modern, talking about this, find the right level of people, but also show the human side. That's important.
I think you're so right. AI, I think, is wonderful, but you still have to have that human aspect to it. And also creative thought is really important, individual creative thought, what goes on in our head, because everything that I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Con, because you know a lot more about this than I do, but I believe that everything that ChatGPT is pulling out is already out there on the internet, isn't it? It's already there. So it's almost like, a lot of people won't like me saying this, it's like regurgitating what's already out there. But within us as human beings, we are able to use our own personal experiences to write and create and put our own flavor into our resumes or our books or whatever it is that we might be writing. Yes. Now, I want to remind everybody who's watching, we've got some freebies here. So I'm going to be telling you about what Dick and Con and Gunnar and Sam and me are going to give away to you. And I'm going to mention Con's last because it's going to be a bit of a competition here. Okay, so let me go to my banners and I'll show you. So first of all, if you would like, let me just go to all of these freebie links, okay? If you would like to, here we go, here for Dick. Dick's offering a free job search course, okay? So if you go to bit.ly/job_secrets and use the code that Dick has set up, Jane Jackson. I feel so famous. I like being a code. I like the code name, Jane Jackson 007, right? Okay, so go to bit.ly / now, bit.ly is case sensitive, so it's capital J and a capital S. So write that down if you would like Dick's free job search course. I'll just pause there for a minute.
Good course, Dick. I saw it this morning, Dick. It's a very good course. I loved it.
I also remember, Jan, I didn't actually answer your question. How do you improve your speaking? So while people comment, I'll just answer quickly. I mean, you can do things like Toastmasters and all that sort of stuff. The idea is to find a place to speak, whether it's just sort of going to events. But also, I think when you have a desire to do it, you'll sort of find a venue to speak. So presenting, there's obviously a lot of courses and communication. So the key thing is find something where you get to do it fairly regularly, even if it's a short time. Now, Toastmasters is a good example, but then go find different Toastmasters if you want to learn public speaking specifically. General communication, just turn up to stuff. And here's the thing, right? People get stressed out about networking and they don't want to join. Don't care. Just don't care. Turn up. If you don't want to talk to somebody, don't talk to somebody. If you want to swear at something, then well, yeah, probably won't be too rude, but sort of don't care so much. I think that's the key thing. Anyway, and practice interviews like what Jane suggested on LinkedIn. But I don't actually have a problem if someone wants to meet an employer and let them sell me sell me their job as well, to get over your own fear. Not probably in the recommended practice.
Yeah. And practice makes perfect. If you get the opportunity to stand up and speak to a group, always take that opportunity. Say yes. Don't be afraid, because you might feel a little bit nervous, but you know what? If you're one person standing up in front of a group of people, they're there to listen to you. And everyone has got experience and their own personality or sense of humor to share. And I think the more people who can speak well, the better it is for us. Yeah, thank you, Dick. Now we have another freebie here from Sam. If you'd like to have a free 30-minute chat with Sam about networking as well, which will help you in your careers, go to calendly.com/Sam Lee what you call that? Sam Lee connect with confidence /30 minutes. Now I'll just leave that on the screen for a while because it's a bit of a mouthful, but we will be popping the actual links into the comments later on. And the good thing about LinkedIn Live is that there's the replay. You'll always see the comments there. Okay, so someone has asked me, can I pop the links in the chat? And we will do, so it'll be there. But also everyone who said yes please, we will message you all of the links too. Okay, so that is Sam's chat. And for Gunnar's wonderful book, Connect and Act, all about social selling. Okay, wave it around for everybody. Gunnar, that's good. You can get a free chapter, which is really valuable. I was at Gunnar's book launch at the beautiful Castlereagh Boutique Hotel, which you are where you're at now, right, Gunnar? And it was such a good book launch combined with Gunnar's birthday. But the book goes through step by step exactly what you need to do. So I highly recommend you go and download that, and why not buy the entire book if you like it as well. And now for me, when it comes to personal branding, it's so important. I've created a masterclass which you can watch for free. It's called The 3 Secrets to Personal Branding for Career Success, and it covers not what you wear and not what you do on LinkedIn. It's all about who you really are, because if you have a solid foundation and a sense of self, then you'll be able to project your authentic self and your brand, which really is what is the most important, because in a sea of noise on LinkedIn and all the other digital platforms that are coming up, there's a lot of look at me, but if you don't know who you are, you won't know how to present yourself. Yes, so if you go to bit.ly/3 secrets-pb, all lowercase there, then you'll be able to watch my free masterclass. And now we've got something special from Mr. Constantidis here, which is a free AI masterclass, but only for one winner. All right, so let me show you what this is so you can see it. Hang on, there you go. So it's the AI conversion technology. Now, I'm going to tell you what to do in order to get this. It's a competition. There's only one free masterclass because it's a paid class, this one. But you guys who are here get the chance to win. So if you're ready, I'm going to tell you what to type in the chat. Do it as quickly as possible. Okay. And the first person to type what I tell you, okay, and it comes up in the chat, you will win this. Does that sound good, Con? Yeah,
let's go for it.
Okay. Okay. All right, you've got to type in, and it's the first person who does it. Winner, chicken dinner. Okay, so winner, chicken dinner. Type it in the comments.
What they do, you can see we've got 2 times there, so no matter where you are in the world, we've got a morning session or we've got an evening session. So if you're in Australia, you can join the evening session. And the morning session is geared for our UK and USA friends. So whoever wins it, they'll be able to go for that one or the other one.
Okay, now, if no one does this, probably no one does. Winner. Have we got a winner? Oh, hang on. It's all coming in. Oh my goodness, you guys are listening. This is so good. Winner, chicken dinner.
It's
Which one
like,
have
I
you got
love
there,
you
Jane?
guys. That's so funny. Okay, now I'm looking at the chat now, and the first person who did it is Georgie Christodoulou. Georgie,
Okay, Georgie.
congratulations. Yay,
Okay,
Georgie.
connect with me on LinkedIn. Connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll send you the details.
Congratulations, Georgie. Okay, you are the winner. Okay, so I'm very oh, hang on, I've got to put this as a banner. Hang on, I can't even type now. I'm so excited, Georgie. Congratulations, Georgie. There we go. Add the banner and put it in there. How's that? Okay, well done, Georgie. Thank you for listening. Oh, okay. You know, I'm looking at my phone. You're still all here. You must be enjoying yourselves. So I think this is wonderful. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through. Hang on, I'll just remove this because hang on. I can now remove that from there so you can see all of us as well. Now I think we'll open up for questions. Okay, just looking in the comments. So what I'm going to, oh, Divas, thank you. You said, haha, this is fun. Yes, I think, you know, you can use LinkedIn for fun. You can use LinkedIn Live for fun stuff. And honestly, what I want you all to do is please find us and connect with us. Let me tell you where you will get. Okay, here's Dick Lamb 111, okay, on LinkedIn.
one was
Find
out.
Dick.
I was
And,
not Dick Lamb.
pardon me? There are too many Dick Lambs. What is Dick Lamb number one would be, I reckon Dick Lamb 007 would have been a fun one too. And if you want to connect with Con here, please, Con Satidis, you will find Con. And I'll leave that up there for a little while, just in case you don't find. But there's only one Considitis, okay? And then we have Gunnar Habits. There's also only one Gunnar Habits,
Right.
yes?
Yes.
So good. And now we have Sam Lee. This is a little bit longer, so you find Sam. Sam Lee, Connect with Confidence, because that's what Sam does. Okay, I'll leave that up there in case you're writing it down. But honestly, if you type in any of our names, you'll find us. And finally, this one is me, Jane Jackson. Now, I joined LinkedIn in 2005 when I think I was the only Jane Jackson, and I managed to personalize it. But now there is like 1,500 Jane Jacksons on LinkedIn. So I'm very glad that I've got it. Oh, just a quick tip. If you can't personalize your own LinkedIn URL because you have a common name like my own, you could put first name, middle initial, last name, or last name, first name, or say, I could easily have put Jane Jackson Career Coach as well. Okay, so you can use it as a branding tool. Say if you work in HR, you could be John Smith HR, or if you're operations, you can put your name and then operations to personalize your LinkedIn public profile URL. So now we are open to questions. So ask your questions in the chat. Sorry, I didn't mean to make this capitals, but I'm just typing it really quickly, so it's all capitals now. And I'm going to go through the comments in the chat and we can answer them, okay, and see who you've directed them to. I'm just saying, Aziz asked, can we get the name of the book of social selling? It's Connect and Act by Gunnar Habits, yes. And Pianok, you said, would be great to see example on how we adapt in LinkedIn. Adapt what? I'm not sure what that means. You'll need to ask it again, Pianok, if you're still here. Prabjot says, how I know why I am not being selected for a job. It could be because you're not quite the match, or maybe you're just going through recruiters, because recruiters are looking for someone who's got that industry experience and that size company in that particular job function. So I'm not sure what your situation is, but if you're thinking about making a career change, networking is going to be better for you than just going through a recruiter, because they're looking for a closer match. If you need more, then just send me a DM and I'll respond. Does anyone else want to mention anything about this? Dick, you're into job search too.
Yeah, look, I think I might have a little bit on that course I have, but basically they won't always tell you the actual reason, or at least the employer won't, because it could be sound discriminatory or something. But a lot of people get in this sort of, we want local experience. A lot of IT people get that. and that's generally not really the answer, the reason. But there's a whole host of reasons, but a lot of it is because you just didn't try to match their job description. Like you sent a resume which was sort of a bit all over the place. They wanted certain things, and they had to dig through 6 pages or something to find it, and they're not going to do that. So a lot of it is that as well.
Good response, Dick. And I highly recommend that you download Dick's course too, which will be very good. Another question is, please give us an example of how we can use networking in LinkedIn for job search. I'd like to throw that over to Gunnar.
Yeah, and that's a good one, because when I came here, that was actually also what Dick told me. Gunnar, nobody knows you here. Who do you know? So then for job search, if it comes to, imagine I would apply for a job and I would be considered in competition with someone else. As also a hiring manager by myself, some time ago, I would take that person into consideration who can also bring a network, where I can also see that they talk about the topic of concern for that particular role, because that's how they can do it then later as well. So, for example, if I would be in a job search of something related into artificial intelligence, for example, as a software engineer in that area, then I can utilize LinkedIn to show progress, to show an expertise, to interview other people in that space, and to demonstrate this. So that's the best way in public to become a resource that the next company would find highly valuable. So the network is visible who I can have in my tribe, and that is something that will surely stand out.
Can I add that to Jane?
Yeah. Yes, please do, Con.
I think, like Gunnar said, that the most important thing there with LinkedIn, what people have to remember is it's interaction and conversation. So, in that relation to that question, go to someone who maybe someone's profile who maybe is a head of HR or is a recruiter, talent recruiter. See what they're posting. Interact with their posts. Don't necessarily follow them or connect with them. Interact with their posts. Make some effective and maybe some wise comments. Let them see you on their posts. Let them see you commenting, and from there you create a profile. And then as you create that profile, you can then reach out and connect with them. And when they see your name, they'll say, "Oh, that's the person that's been commenting on my posts." Straight away, the connection is there, and they start following each other, or you're connected with each other. So with LinkedIn, it's about interacting. It's about conversing. It's about creating a relationship.
Absolutely. And you know what, when you're on LinkedIn and you connect with someone, always personalize your invitation to connect. It's very easy just to click connect. But if you have a look on someone's profile and you want to connect with them, have a look at the top. You'll see there are 3 dots. If you click on it, it will say personalize invite. So you personalize the invitation with a personalized message, and then when you do that, it's more likely that someone will respond. You know, whenever I get just a generic request, which I know is a copy and paste, or else I get no message, I just delete those collection requests, because I'm thinking, well, you don't really know me. Why? What, you haven't read my profile, and you haven't bothered to write me a note. Why would I connect with you? It's like going to a networking event and having someone shove their business card, in your hand and say, "Call me." And I'm thinking, why would I call you? I don't even know you, right? So if I don't even know you, why would I connect with you? And a trick that I have to find out if someone's really read my profile is in my about section, halfway down, it says, "If you want to connect, please personalize your invitation and mention cats, golf, or dance. I will respond." And so I would say 98% of the connection requests don't mention cats, golf, or dance. But as soon as someone says, "Hey, Jane, I love cats too," instant connection, because that means you've read my profile, you've got at least halfway down, and you're interested in something, and there must be a common bond. So that's what I'm thinking. Okay, now we've got a few more questions here. Is there a way to get your resume to pop up for recruiters and job searching? I know there is AI that pulls information from resumes to software like Salesforce, yes, and Taleo and Turbo Recruit too. But there is a feature at the top of your profile that you can say open. Okay, open for work. You don't want the green banner that says hashtag open to work. You want to just click on it so that recruiters are notified that you are happy to have a chat, but don't use the green banner. I think it looks really ugly. Now, AI that pulls information from resumes to software like Salesforce. Mr. AI, have you got something to add here, Constantidis?
You can. The beauty of LinkedIn, again, we're talking about LinkedIn. The beauty of LinkedIn, you can save your LinkedIn profile as a PDF. You can then input that into various resume software. The one I've been using recently is called Visual CV. So it's called visualcv.com. You go there, it's got a resume. You just upload your LinkedIn profile, and it will create a resume for you. Now, in relation to getting it on top of the list, what you can do is you can use ChatGPT and AI tools to create what they might call ATS. And Jane, you know ATS better than all of us. ATS friendly.
Applicant tracking system.
Tracking system.
Tracking systems. ATS friendly cover letters and resumes, which will get you to the top of that list. Does that help,
Please, though, yeah, it does help. But please, if you're using AI or ChatGPT, make sure whatever you get from them, you personalize it and make it sound your voice. Okay,
Yes.
because otherwise you're going to get lost in a sea of other people using the same tool. So original, creative thought from you, your own voice is honestly, it's so important. Otherwise,
And add verify.
human.
Add verify. Make sure
Yeah.
that what it's saying, because it's like you said before, AI tends to sometimes make things up. I did an AI check on myself, and it said I've written 3 books, and as you know, I've written no book. So well, you've got to make sure that AI does make sure that it does tell the truth.
Yeah. Now, here's a question that for communication and presentation, Sam and Dick, I'm sure you have something to weigh in here. A question from a LinkedIn user. It says, I'm working as a project manager with around 1.5 years of experience in Australia and 3.5 years overseas in India. Whenever I apply for a job as a project manager, they tell me I lack the experience as per Australian requirements, and they need more. Eventually, my profile gets rejected. I wish to know how to communicate this during an interview, and how can I sell myself better when I know that I have the skills and all the certifications to deliver the projects. So this is a communication during an interview concern. Sam, do you have something to say first, and then over to Dick?
Yeah, you just need to be very confident when you're going to job interview, like in terms of, are you promoting the right gestures, like body language? Are you projecting your voice that's like very confident for the other person to hear? And yeah, it's just really about knowing how to express yourself in a way that the other person will likes you and sees your professionalism and that kind of stuff. So that's my 2 cents. Yeah.
And Dick?
Look, when you're told that you usually, you lack the local experience or etc., it's often a cultural thing. So the culture in, say, India, Asia is often qualifications and certifications. That's what they think that's what qualifies them for a role. Where in a country like Australia or US or UK, we sort of don't. I mean, there's a minimum requirement, but we don't really care often. I mean, I'll be very blunt, and this is the way I would interview. We sort of don't care. And in fact, the fact that you care so much is actually a cultural problem, because there are certain characteristics in those cultures where basically they sort of stay out of trouble. They do what the boss wants them to do. They're not necessarily proactive. And create problems. Like I've heard, people training for interviews where they say, they never, if their boss makes a mistake, they don't tell them because they would get upset that you picked up their mistake, and it'll put them to shame. In Australia, that doesn't really cut it. We would be upset if you didn't tell us. So there's certain cultural factors. I think there's a guy called Gert Hofstede. He did a survey of culture of different countries, and he measured various factors, and that can be that can explain a lot of the factors why it takes often 1.5, usually 2 years or more for people of certain cultures to unlearn the problems that they have with how management works here. For example, it's not as hierarchical. It's more flat
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, you know what I'd like to add though here for this LinkedIn users question, because you're asking how to communicate this better during an interview. One of the things you have to do is not just rely on the certifications and the qualifications. You have to position yourself as a solution to the problems. So if you can identify your tangible accomplishments, what you've done that has actually made a positive difference. You're working as a project manager. Talk about the projects, talk about the challenges around the specific projects and what you did as an individual or as a leader leading your team to do that actually help to resolve that problem. And then what was the result? Did you save money? Did you save time? Did you streamline the process? All of those would be really strong for a project manager to highlight during an interview. I hope that helps. There is, let me see, there is another question because we've got 3 minutes left before we're leaving you. And find a job in the construction industry through LinkedIn and Seek. How do I highlight my profile among the hundreds of applicants who applied for the same position? I would say pick up the phone and talk to whoever the advertiser is, the consultant who's handling it. And then once you do that, then you'll be able to ask them, can you tell me a little bit more about the role itself? You can start to sell yourself over the phone a bit, and that's the verbal communication that you will, and your presentation skills that you can use that will help you to get over the line rather than just clicking apply. Don't just click apply. Okay, gentlemen, any final thoughts before I wind this up? Because we've got 3 more minutes.
And that one there, Jane, if you know that the hiring manager, you can always find them on LinkedIn and just send them a nice message and say, hi, I've just applied for the job you advertised. I look forward to having a further conversation. There's no harm in being a bit, like Dick says, in Australia, we're very daring, we're very gung-ho, so we just go out of the way and say, hey, I'm Con, I applied for this job. Look forward to talking to you if we get a chance. There's nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah. Here's one. Should we get help from ATS paid subscription? I'm not sure what that means, but no, you don't need to pay an ATS. Just make sure you've got the keywords. You need a keyword match. You can go to jobscan.co and I think you've got 5 free scans. You can scan and see how close a match you are. You're aiming for 80% plus match. Okay. Kate is asking, photo or no photo on a CV? If you're going for a front of camera role and they want a photo, then of course add one. But for most corporate roles, no, don't add a photo because it could put a positive or negative bias in your application as well. Do add your LinkedIn link to your profile, though. You've got your photo there. So if someone really wants to see how you look, they can click through and get the whole picture of you. Your resume is just history, basically. You want to project yourself into the desired direction, but it's a history of what you've done in your career and your qualifications, etc. Your LinkedIn profile helps people to know what your personality is like. So make sure that you are your authentic self on LinkedIn. Now, gentlemen, Dick Lamb, Concertitas, Sam Lee, Gunnar Habits are very active on LinkedIn. Connect with them. It's been such a pleasure talking to you, gentlemen. And the replay will be up on my profile for anyone to watch anytime. If you're watching the replay, you have a question, please just, put the @ and tag us and we will answer, okay? Because you might have a question that's directed not to me, but to Gunnar, Con, Dick, or Sam. So thank you, gentlemen, and I look forward to chatting with you very soon. Bye now.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.